That sounds so cool.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We've got Ollie and myself, Mark, and we are working on this R34 again. If you've been following straight from the start of the series, we bought this car from auction, completely standard and absolutely trash, stolen, recovered, and we fixed it up. And finally, last episode, we got rego on it, which is absolutely amazing. We're stoked with ourselves, taking this car from pretty much dead standard, absolutely wrecked, up to something that's half presentable. We've gone through pretty much everything in this car, getting it ready for rego. We did the timing belt, we did the water pump,
The auto control valve and the cam gear.
yeah, pretty much everything. New tires, went through everything and made sure it was all ready for rego and in good condition. So now that we've done that, we've got number plates on the car, we've got some custom plates coming which we'll reveal to you in the next episode. So I don't know if you guys can see in the background there, but we've got some HKS boxes, we've got Blitz boxes, we've got JJR boxes, we've got a ton of stuff. So Just Jap really jumped on board and were great to deal with. They helped us out with a bunch of these mods that are going onto the car now. I'll leave a link below, guys. Make sure you jump onto their website and have a look around, because they've got absolutely everything. So they've got a full range of OEM Nissan parts, some stuff that is really hard to get. Their brand new headlights that we got in the car, they were all from Just Jap, all the timing belt, water pump, and all the mods that are going onto the car now. So make sure you jump onto their website. The link is below in the description. Have a look around, and I'm sure they'll have something that you'll want to grab. So in this episode, guys, we're going to be jumping into the exciting mods finally, which I've been waiting for. I was getting pretty frustrated going around in circles trying to get this car running right before. That's all sorted now, that's behind us. Let's get into the fun stuff. So we've got a ton of stuff here. We've got a full HKS exhaust, brand new. We've got the JJR, so Just Jap Racing front and dump pipe all in one, which is going to go on from the turbo back and then join up to that HKS exhaust. We've got the Blitz return flow SE series intercooler. So this intercooler uses the standard under bonnet piping and then comes along the bottom of the intercooler and then up the other side, so you don't need to cut any holes near chassis rail or anything like that. Like I said, this Blitz intercooler is a return flow series. So on the R32, R33 and R34 RB series engines, the intercooler piping on most intercooler kits comes across the top and then across between the front of the engine and the radiator, and then you have to actually physically cut a hole down there under the battery for that piping to come around the front and join up to this side of the intercooler. With our Blitz series, our return flow, it utilizes these same factory intercooler piping on this side. They both go down through the factory holes. They both come out under here. One joins into the side of the intercooler, the other one runs along the bottom of the intercooler and onto the other side. So it just keeps the engine bay looking really clean and neat, which is sort of what we're after with this build. The other thing we've got in these boxes somewhere, which we have to dig through and find, is a Apexi air intake. The Apexi air intake is going to take place of that factory airbox. We've got a factory airbox and a factory air filter over in the corner. So all of this is going to be coming out. It's got an adapter that'll bolt up to the standard airflow meter. So we're going to have to remove all of this and bolt that airflow meter to the new Apexi air intake. Comes with the bracket and everything to mount it. It's going to change the sound of this car a lot. So between the exhaust and that air intake, I think this car's really going to wake up and come alive and sound like a proper Skyline, which is awesome. Another thing we got in preparation for our wheels, we've got a guard roller. Guard roller's arrived, and something extra we got is some clear indicators. So this car has on the front bar orange indicators, and then also on the side it's got these faded orange indicators. So we've got clear ones to replace these, and we've got clear ones to replace these, and they come with an orange globe. And we'll show you more about that a little bit later. But in this episode, we're basically going to be fitting that Apexi air intake. We're going to be unboxing all of our mods, and we're going to be fitting these clear indicators as well. So we're going to break our videos up into smaller videos. We normally do 35-40 minute videos, trying to fit everything in, but we're going to break them up into shorter videos for installing these mods, just so we can refer back to them, and they're sort of a bit easier to categorize and not all jammed in one episode, if that makes sense. And then next episode, we'll be jumping into the exhaust, removing that standard front and dump pipe and full rear section, and fitting up the Just Jap Racing bell mouth front and dump pipe and that full HKS exhaust as well. All right, let's get stuck into these boxes. I reckon the first thing we'll open up is probably the smallest thing. It's just those clear indicators. So I found these clear indicators on eBay. They were pretty cheap as well, but I think they're around about $80 or something like that. And they packaged them up and sent them together. I haven't even had a look at these yet. All right, let's have sauce. Nice, nice. If I'm 100% honest, they look a little bit cheap. They're a bit plasticky on the back. but I don't know how else you would have them. Here, pull the plastic off that one. Let's see, man. They don't look too bad, to be honest, do they? So I think it goes, so this is the right one, but I reckon they're going to look heaps nicer on the front of the car. All right, let's get that other one out and have a look at those side indicators as well. Like, how much better does that look? That's so different. These faded orange indicators, even if they were in good condition and not faded, the clears, in my opinion, just look so much nicer. They look good. I reckon they're going to look heaps nicer. So we just got to make sure our globes and everything fit in there.
Yep.
And then they click in. They got little gaskets and everything. They should be mint. All right, let's throw them in. All right, so getting these out is pretty straightforward. I don't know if you can see on this, but it's got a little squeezy clip on that side. And then this one, if you pull to one side, it just pops out like that. You've got a filthy plug in there. You can just twist that. So what we do have to get, so that's our old one, covered in dirt, and then that's our new one. It's actually a little bit thicker as well, if you can see that. So what we need to do, because these are clear, we need to get ourselves some orange, either LED globes. Actually, I reckon it might have come, do you want to check the box, see if it comes with orange globes? Legally in Australia and probably everywhere else, you have to have orange indicators. Actually, not America. I think I've seen someone tell me in the comments below, in America, I think they don't have indicators on the back of their car. They use or flash their brake lights. I think that's right. Let me know down below. So in Australia, we have to have orange indicators at the front of the car, the side of the car, and the rear of the car. A lot of new cars have them on the mirrors, but most cars have them on the side. And that should just pop back in. Just like that. We'll straighten that up. I had that straight. I reckon that looks pretty mint. Let's go do the other side. Cool, now that back plug just twists. Beautiful. I reckon that looks pretty mint, man. It already looks newer. Like, it makes the car look heaps newer. Let's move on to the front ones. So it's the same sort of design by the look. They've got spring clips on the side. Spring clips to the right, and it goes that way. So let's try and get this one out. Easy. Everything's just filthy. So looks wise, pretty much identical shape, identical way of fitting, which is good. Same little breather hoses, same strengthening ribs. Everything looks the same except that coloured lens. Obviously the front bar doesn't matter too much because we'll be changing that in a not too distant future to the GDR style front bar, which these indicators will also fit into. So we've got an orange globe, that was a clear one that came out, and then again that just screws in the back. Bro, that was heaps easy. Look at that. Just makes the whole front of the car look heaps more updated. It's so weird thinking about this car and everything we've been through so far, and the fact that we're actually allowed to drive it on the road.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing something wrong by taking it around the block. Alright, let's take this for a little spin. We're going to test what this thing sounds like with the standard exhaust and the standard air intake. So we'll do in-car and out-car as well. We're off cold start now, so we're all warmed up and ready to go. Definitely hardly any exhaust noise. You can hear the engine. A little bit of flutter. Nothing overly exciting, that's for sure. Alright, now we know what the car sounds like standard. Absolutely dead standard. Do you reckon it's time to do some mods? Keen as, man. Alright, we're going to let this thing cool down and then we're going to jump straight into that air filter. I think it's only fair that we let Ollie take over the first mod. You keen, man?
Yep.
I reckon you can do this one. You've had the airbox out before. You've had pretty much most of the motor apart yourself as well, helping me out. So go ahead, man. We can start pulling this all apart. That wobbles off the top of the airbox. Cool. And then just sit these back in there. And I'm just going to pop that off. You can undo the top of the airbox. I'm not even going to put gloves on today. I know that Ollie handled this whole thing, I reckon. 3 bolts on the airbox, one at the back, 1, 2 down here. I gotta stop myself from trying to pick up the tool. I went to pick up the tool then for like the 3rd time. Ollie's got this on, I reckon. Heaps more satisfying if Ollie finishes it. It's pretty simple. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. Once we got this bottom of the airbox out, and it's gonna come out with the airflow meter. So I don't know if you can see in there, it's got 4 bolts where the airflow meter, which is the thing that senses how much air is going in. Gonna loosen that hose clamp up here. And you should be able to carefully wiggle that airbox out. We've got all 3 bolts out. Nice, we'll come put it over on the table. Then if you want to grab the 10mm socket and spanner. So turbo airflow meter. I don't know if that's going to focus. Pretty simple, we've got 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that socket should be able to get to all of them. And then that, with the gasket, bolts straight onto that bolt pattern on the bottom of the air filter. We had the airflow meter off and clean the airflow meter with some of this stuff that we've got. So this is the stuff we use to clean the airflow meter. It doesn't leave any residue on the actual sensor, so it can sense that air going past and doesn't give you a false reading or anything like that. Ollie is speed running this. Nice, we've got fresh new bolts as well to put in. 6x20x4. And then this fresh new bracket, so we'll have to work out what angle that bracket goes on. But we'll put these in loosely with the airflow meter and the gasket. Cool, let's see. So we've got a little O-ring in there to make sure it's airtight. Beautiful. And then what we want to do, you want to move that. So here, sit that upside down. We'll make sure this lines up with holes. First shot. Alright, now we just need to put that gasket in there, man. And just lines up with these 4 holes there. And then you can carefully put that on there. So we just want to put them in loosely for now, and we can nip them up once we know what orientation that bracket goes on, because that bracket needs to hold the air filter still. So that's a legal requirement in South Australia, probably most states really, that air filter, if you have an AirPod on your car, it needs to be mounted so it can't wobble around, which is common sense really. But this bracket here will just keep it all mounted up nice and tight. Let's go see how this bracket fits up. So that's effectively going to sit like that. I reckon we'll hide the airflow meter at the bottom, or do we have the airflow meter at the top? I reckon it looks nice and clean like that.
Yeah.
As long as that plug, that plug will still go down. Alright, I reckon we have it like that, and we've got the Apexi at the top there. It looks pretty sick. Got a hole right there. I reckon it just sits like that. So we'll keep that same orientation. I'll undo this one, put that bracket in. Gonna nip all these other bolts up. 1, 2. We'll leave that one for last so we get the angle of the bracket right. Plug the airflow meter in. Sit that down like that. Another 10mm with a bit of a washer on top so it can support that bracket. And then lastly, we want to do this other mounting bracket bolt on the air filter. That's tight. That's tight. Lastly, we just want to tighten up that hose clamp.
Can't wait for the sounds as well.
And the sounds, man. Yeah, it's not only like looking good, but it's going to sound good too. Look at that, nice and firm, can't move. Got everything hooked up. Probably chuck a hose clamp around there later. We've got the airflow meter plug out the way. Do you want to give that a start, man? All done. I reckon that took us what? 10 minutes at the most. That was quick as. So we'll let that warm up and then we'll take it for a spin around the block. We'll do some sound tests and see how we go. All right, I'm keen, man. This is cool. Apexi intake in-car footage, first fit, first drive. Let's see what it sounds like. Quickly, we won't do it straight out the front of our house. We'll cruise around the block a little bit. You ready, man? Oh, well, there's always a car every time.
That sounds so cool.
Dude, how different is that? Oh, that's sick. I haven't heard that sound for a long time. Dude, how different is that? Wow. That really has opened up that air intake, man. That's only second too. That's so different, man. That's amazing. That's like the best cheap little mod to do. Crazy flutter, man. Crazy flutter. Dude, that is crazy. That sounds so freaking good. What do you reckon, man?
Sounds so cool.
Is that the sound that you've been hoping for
Yeah.
ever since we got this car? I reckon that was a raging success. As far as simplicity for installing, Ollie pretty much did most of it, 3/4 of it himself. I only just finished off the orientation of the filter and everything to get it all sitting in there and making sure it's not rubbing on anything. Straight away, that just makes the engine bay look heaps nicer. Not this big black bulky mess over here. It can't move. It's all stiff and firm. We will be doing a aluminium air intake pipe. I'm going to make a couple of phone calls and see if I can find someone who can come out here maybe, or you know, go to their workshop or something like that. I don't really want to leave the car with anyone, but hopefully we can get some, like a mobile guy to come out here and make a pipe, which would be really cool to film as well, because that makes a big difference to the sound of that dose and that flutter as well. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope that was exciting for you as it was for us. I know we're absolutely stoked to have that air filter on the car. It makes it sound more and more like a Skyline. Everything we do to this from now on is going to make this sound more and more like a Skyline and put the biggest grin on both of our faces, especially Ollie, which is the most important one. Next video, guys, we're going to be throwing that HKS exhaust on and the Just Jap front and dump pipe as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click subscribe and like and comment below if you have any suggestions or comments or recommendations or anything like that, or just want to say hi, guys. We're always here to chat if you want to say anything. Other than that, I reckon we'll see you guys in the next video. Cool. See you later, guys. Thank you.